Here we are. Let a couple more people in. Welcome to Syndril. Awesome. Yay. Wow, what a huge powerful day, a huge powerful portal that we have had over these last few weeks. As you guys know, the solar eclipse that we had a couple weeks ago really opened this door to some pretty profound stuff, and it almost changed every few days in this like really beautiful expansive way where it kind of brought us inside a little bit, and then it sort of brought up some stuff of just what was really dialed in at the beginning of the year as far and even in from November with our last eclipse season, kind of setting us up for the next 6 months. Usually an eclipse season is really kind of about getting us set up for that next 6 months and even a little bit longer, especially when it's a really powerful eclipse season like we're having this year. And then it sort of switched and shifted in this last week to some pretty deep stuff, some pretty deep rooted stuff, some pretty familial type stuff. Like last weekend was profound in people I work with, people I don't, just talking, noticing these patterns. There was scarcely a person that didn't go through some kind of family revelation type of feelings last weekend. Like there was some deep stuff that just came up about relationships with family members, about longings for things that we have always maybe wanted or been in. The word denial kept coming up in my notes as I was writing things down to sort of touch upon tonight, because when we look at the planetary alignments that are going on, this was kind of like there's this Taurian stellium where we have 4 planets that were sort of all in Taurus, and then this moon that we're having, this full moon that we're having, is now going into the Scorpio constellation. And with Scorpio, it's all about these secrets, these deep dark secrets that we've kept as family, and keeping certain things in the family that no one else knew, or that we didn't know that anyone else knew, and things were coming up for people, even just in a chat with my husband, not even knowing that that was happening on the weekend. I discovered it about Monday or Tuesday as I really dove into what this week was all going to be about. There was a lot of notations from a lot of different people, literally noting that when Pluto went into retrograde on the 1st, it kind of slowed everything down for a moment, almost like a big, you imagine a big planet just all of a sudden kind of slowing so much that it looks like it's moving backwards, so that you can sort of hop on. And the Pluto's all about truth and the death and rebirth of these big things that we've been sort of trying to kind of unpack and work with for the last few years. And then this eclipse, what it's calling us forth to do is work on these shadows, work on these secrets, work on these bringing ups of truth, and allowing this to all kind of come to the surface. And so this stuff coming to the surface can be quite huge, or it can be just a little like, oh, I finally understand why my dad did that, or I finally understand, that it wasn't all me, that, we're just having these downloads, these revelations of family. And then as the week progressed, we moved into past lives, and like past lives, and past lives. And as we know with epigenetics, we carry, up to, they're saying 7 to 8 generations past, that has been studied as far as patterns that we've been hanging on to. So some of the stuff coming up in the last week, it isn't even our stuff. It's this familial, generational, patterned stuff that has just been in our DNA, but now is finally ready to be seen and felt and heard. And so the emotions have been very big. And like, how do you know if it's past life stuff? Someone was asking me that, and I was like, well, for example, have you noticed that even watching, say, a TV show or a movie or reading a book or hearing something just triggered you all of a sudden into like an emotional response? You know, like people are crying at TV shows and movies that they normally wouldn't be crying at or be so emotional at, or just, I had to say goodbye to someone and I wasn't going to see them for a while. And it was just like, oh, it was so emotional. It was like it brought up every time that I've had to say goodbye to someone over the last however long. And it's just like these moments of clarity and replay and sort of reconstructing and reliving have been just kind of brought up in our face, and a lot of things that we maybe didn't even realize were holding us back are kind of coming to light, and maybe things we didn't even realize about certain people are finally coming to light. And so it's just been this like accelerated, this week went by really quick for me. I don't know about you guys, but it was like kind of light speed. um all of a sudden it was Friday, and I was just like, it's the 5th of May, which is, this is like a superpower day. Not only are the angel numbers for May 555, it's a 555 day, so it's May 5th. But if you add the 2 and the 3 together with the, for just for numerology wise, it's another 5. There's just fives kind of all over the place. We're just, it's Cinco de Mayo. It's, there's lots of, and it was Beltane on May 1st. It's like all, like, this is all happening at once, right? The lunar eclipse tonight, the full moon tonight. It's like, holy Moses, just hang on and go for the ride right now. But in such a beautiful way, because it is truly for the expansion of our greater good. And then we also had Mars kind of creeping in to alignment with the sun again, which also sort of is like a big teacher, but it's one of truths. And so we're feeling this, just this need for truth, and this, this this strong urge to just find our power again. And one of the things that I've really noticed with people this week is really finally we're understanding the, not only when we get into our true choices, right? Those, we always go to a life I love, health and vitality. I always felt like being the true predominant creative force in my life was one that I didn't like. I felt it, but I didn't really get it fully until, a few years into this work. And this season, this whole eclipse season, has really brought about our power. And so it's not just me, I'm noticing on a collective, and this is worldwide. It's not just in our little group, but people are finding their power. It's like finding their power, baby. It's just like we're feeling that fuel being lit up again. We're kind of coming out of this sleepy winter haze. The trees are budding, things are starting to flourish and grow. But to allow this light in, there are some things that need to move through and out and come up to be healed. And to really be, the only way to really heal it is to feel it. And this is why this week is kind of repetitious shadow work. Like if you, I've been asked even a few times, like, I think I want to do shadow work. I'm like, well, this week you have been, because these things that are coming up that we didn't know of, or these sort of, these ideas, these downloads, these things that have been coming through for us are the shadows. They were hiding in the darkness until it was safe, until our parts were aligned, until our body, mind, and spirit was able to handle shifting and moving and going through this stuff, even with things like, like a kind of like a health crisis per se, right? There's been a few people this week that have had some pretty major health crises that really probably, not that anything ever should happen or there's ever any reason for it, but no matter what it is, it's for our greater alignment. It's so that we can move forward, so that we can figure out what that little health challenge was. And it's really weird things that have been coming up that were almost completely under the radar, unexpected, didn't think, in a million years that that would be what's going on. Yet here it is. And even people that are usually really healthy, they've been sick this week. They've been those people that are still doing and still, caring for others all the time, that need to be able to actually stop and take this week to go inside. It's like the universe is helping us stop to go inside to do this work, to be able to actually get into ourselves, even if it has to be forced, because for me, that was a big thing. I really never felt like it was okay to just rest, or it was never okay to even sleep at night. Like, that was not something that I learned at night. It was like, you do all the time. You always, you can't rest. And we have these beliefs, right? So these deep rooted beliefs, they are there for so many reasons, but this is a week where we're almost kind of understanding why and where they come from. And so I'm going to call us in to take a little bit of a deeper look at some of these things that are so deep rooted, that are so swept under the rug, that are so hidden. We're going to allow ourselves to go through each energy center, and we're going to go to a memory in each energy center that just completely playing in the superconscious field. We do not need to know what it is. We're going to allow ourselves to go in and actually ask what is hiding in that area, in that particular area. Little things. There's going to be a few things that I'm going to touch upon on each area of the body that is connected to things that we're holding on to. Last week, I kind of went into some of the limiting beliefs and things like that that can be in each chakra, but we did a parts integration with each part in the chakra. So now that those parts are all kind of aligned and ready to allow the next safe thing to be healed, to be felt, to come through, we're going to just dig a little bit deeper in that. And we're going to do a little bit of what we would call shadow work or inner child work, even today in the meditation as well. And we're just going to really give that younger self what it is that we need. And then the end is going to be really fun. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little thing to do afterwards, because I don't want to tell you ahead of time so that you're expecting it, but it'll all make sense in the end. But the meditation is going to be a lot of fun tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. The other thing I wanted to do is, because of the people that we have in the room, I was just going to kind of see if we had new people. I wasn't going to recommend doing this, but if you really want a 2.0 this work tonight and this meditation tonight, we can use, already my body's going, yes, you can see, like, it's like almost like a rocking, right? Using our intuition, using our little human compass that we have. It's almost like this metronome that's inside of us. That's, it's kind of telling us yes, no. Usually for no, I feel like my body almost go backwards, or it stops rocking forward. It stops wanting to pull forward. A lot of people, when they're doing muscle testing, for example, you can do this to know, is this good for me? This kind of thing. With the muscle testing tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to sort of muscle test for what it is that is really ready to be healed. Because what that does is, when we engage our subconscious and our superconscious at the same time, it allows this profound healing, body, mind, and soul, subconscious, conscious, and superconscious levels all together, rather than just me guiding you through a meditation and using the five senses and just like being on that etherical level. We're in, even 5D. We're going to dive into 7D. We're going to actually take our muscle testing and incorporate it on ourselves when we're in there. If you want to just relax and listen to the meditation and just, let the field do the work. The subconscious work does happen. And that's when you almost feel, you go into theta state, you almost feel like you're missing some words. You don't hear everything going on in the meditation, but you hear what you need to hear. Your subconscious hears it all and does the work. But by engaging that muscle testing and getting the yes from your body and getting the yes to release it, what this is going to do is give you kind of like a trapped emotions session at the same time, because that's what these are. When you're feeling when you're watching that TV show and something stirs you or triggers you, that's often a trapped emotion. If I was to say, think of a time where, um, an animal that you had really hurt himself, and imagine that, that yipe, they hold up their paw. You're almost drawn back to a time where there's a bit of a trapped emotion in there, where it was hard to see them do that. We kind of bury it down. That's just a random example. It can be really traumatic things that we've been through, where all of a sudden you're watching a show and someone, say, has a miscarriage, or something that you've been through. It can really trigger up an emotion, and that's what we call a trapped emotion, where you don't normally notice it, but all of a sudden something will just kind of trigger it, or you feel connected to it and you feel that real big emotion to it. That's a trapped emotion that's coming out to be felt, to be heard, to be seen, to be healed. And so we're going to be bringing out some stuff to be healed today. So what I'm going to be doing is using my magnets. Whenever I do trapped emotion work, I use a magnet and I stroke it along my head. So if you guys are feeling after this, like there's just more stuff that needs to release and you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed, or you're feeling anything going on that isn't feeling good, what you can do is you can ask your body, you can use your muscle testing. I'm trying to find my magnet here as I dig around. You can use your muscle testing and ask, am I ready to just release this emotion? And if you are, you can take a strong fridge magnet. And what you do is you take the magnet and you put it at the top of your head, and you start at just above the third eye, and you just literally stroke the magnet all the way along your skull, right down to the back of the head. When you're doing it yourself, you usually only need to do it about 3 or 5 times. If I'm doing it remotely with someone, I'll do it about 10 times. I just connect with their field, and then I just do the muscle testing the whole time. Now, I'm just being called to tell you to share this method with you guys, because this is one I really like using if I'm not wanting to, if I'm trying to control the rocking, or if I'm not feeling it really strong, or if I have someone that I'm kind of trying to teach the intuition, the muscle testing to, that doesn't get it. There's a really neat one that, I don't know if I've ever taught this one to you guys before, but you take both your hands and you put your pointer finger and your middle finger against your thumb, and you rub, like I do, like little circles, just kind of like you're feeling your fingertips. And what you do is it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever feels good for you. But as you're doing it, and just try this with me, if just because I think you guys will probably really enjoy this, because it's another way of testing where you don't look like you're crazy. So if I'm working in a session and I'm trying to hold myself together, where I'm not just like, rocking in meditation, and I'm trying to test for things and I don't want to use my pendulum, but I want kind of a quick yes or no answer. You rub your fingers together. I'll just let Samara in here before I go forward with this, because she'll probably like this one too. And all you do is you repeat to yourself, yes, 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 about 5 or 6 times. Hello, Samara, welcome. I'm teaching us another, you probably know this already, a way of muscle testing. Some people find this, because I'm a massage therapist, this is one that always really felt good to me. And I could do it while I was working, if I wasn't able to kind of connect with my rocking answers, like sort of getting a yes or no. Because I was just talking about the meditation that we're going to do tonight. I was saying, if you want to sort of 2.0 it, what you can do is muscle test. And as you, with your fingers, this is a way you likely know, but just in case you don't, you keep rubbing your fingers and you say to yourself, yes, 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 yes. And then say to yourself, no, 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 no. And you'll feel it. I feel the texture of my fingerprints almost change. It becomes stickier when it's a no. It's like my hands almost get like a sweaty, they become stickier. The ridges on my fingers become rougher. Where if it's a yes, the fingertips actually change and it's a smoother feeling. So sometimes it's a nice way to be able to sort of test, especially if you're in meditation and your body and you're lying down and you can't do the rocking one. And some people don't get like a solid yes no's. A lot of people get yes, up in the head or up in the heart and no down in the gut. So this is a nice way for whenever I say yes, yes, and you got to do about 6 times by the time you're saying it, like the third, fourth, fifth, 6 times. When it's yes, the fingertips really smooth over. When it's no, it's like they become more ridgy and stickier. So I feel it, and I do both hands because I get an almost positive on the right, but my left hand is really sensitive, so it tells me right away for that no. So I don't know if you guys have learned that one before, but it'll be a fun one to do during this meditation because we're going to go through each energy center and we are going to literally just ask what is ready to be healed, what is ready to be shown, what is ready to move through, what is ready to start to be listened to, what is ready to really ready to just allow us to connect with that true nature and purpose. This is what this eclipse has all been for. It's all to bring us to our greatest and highest timeline, no matter what that might be. It may just well be that we had to make this shift with our family last weekend. It may well be that we had to make this shift through this health crisis so that we can now script this new path, this new I, I, I really feel like we're about to write this life story of, what we've come through, what we've completed, what we've done, what we've shifted through. And this journaling, if we've been journaling up until now, it's, it's quite amazing to see even video journals or to go back and watch videos that you've made or written, whatever it is that you've sort of written in the past and see how much you've changed. It's almost like we're new people after these last few weeks. Everybody's kind of been like, who am I? I'm just like, I feel like a completely different person in different ways. Not, that like, oh, I've lost, 30 pounds. I'm perfect now. It's nothing like that. It's just like these profound shifts in managing our emotions a little bit better, in actually allowing ourselves to get these really profound visions, lessons, downloads. It's all been coming through, and we're able to kind of, it's like looking at it from another point of view, kind of understanding, getting these perspectives, getting these teachings, getting these lessons, and now making a decision from this point of view versus the old us, the old beliefs. Because think about if I didn't feel worthy, I wouldn't even want to hop on here. I wouldn't feel like I'd be writing messages going like, nobody has to hop on, but if they want to, then I'm here. And, I might be doing this. Like we act a different way if we don't believe that we're worthy. If we have these limiting beliefs, we behave differently, we act differently. We're starting to act more in alignment with ourselves of, just the way that we're sort of setting up boundaries, the way that we're kind of taking care of ourselves, or just even noticing the way that we need to take care of ourselves, noticing the things that we want, and really kind of feeling that fuel to go for them and getting some clarity on that, really getting some clarity around what it is that we want, even if it's from being triggered by something that, has happened this week, or even something that we've seen. I was joking that, a woman that I follow, she posted a video, and it just came across my feed because I subscribed to her or whatever. And it had only been an hour and she had had a 1.7 thousand views. And I just went, I want that. And let me tell you, never in my life have I thought I want 1.7 thousand views in an hour. Like, that's not something that I ever went after. But now it makes sense why I've been making videos for the last year. I've got like 200 of them in my YouTube. Some have 2 views, some have 20, some have a little bit more, that kind of thing. But I'm like, I actually really want that. Now, what if I was to actually go for that? What if I was to actually make that a real intention? That's a difference of having that clarity, that clear GPS point, rather than just, that sort of generalized, just wanting, it just gives you something to work for. We're getting clarity around these things that are important to us, these things that are lighting us up. And so this week coming up, without getting too much into where all the planets are, we are sort of being called to get into our creativity. So those things that make us happy, that we really um, those things that make us happy. Sorry, I just got someone in the waiting room. I'm almost afraid to let people I don't know in sometimes after my little Zoom bombing incident, but I'm gonna try adding someone in here. So just bear with me for a moment. If it gets crazy, I'll get rid of him. It's a full moon again, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember the last full moon, so we're gonna be daring. So this week is all a lot to do with finding our creativity, finding our oh, Zoom kicked him out. There we go. Finding our creativity, finding our hearts, finding our passion, finding our see. I feel like last week was a lot about really feeling, being that powerful creative force in your life, really starting to understand that where the power comes from is understanding our power, understanding our true journey, our hero's journey, and understanding that we're writing that story. And no matter what is going on, it's like this sort of re-indication and reinvention and this story that we actually get to create, and the power in that, the power in actually understanding that we have control over this, and everything that's been going on has just been showing us our true nature and purpose this week and into next week. So this is where we get to have a lot of fun with if you're an artist, diving into your art, if you used to sing a lot, diving into that singing, diving into those sort of higher vibrational energies where we feel really good. A lot of us can get back outside and get into the garden, and this whole week is really calling us to be grounding ourselves in nature. So after tonight's meditation, water sign, we definitely want to be doing our bath. I don't really recommend doing huge normal manifestation type rituals or even the purging rituals that we would normally do on a full moon. This is going to be to was that you, Heather? Just let you on there. To really allow us to be able to tap into our creativity again, into our power, into our true, that true fire, that true spark. A lot of us are even finding our niches this week. It's like clarity all of a sudden. And the other thing we've been finding clarity on too is on the things that are wasting. Oh, okay. Yeah, weird, eh? Um, the things that are wasting our time, the things that are um, actually, yeah, I'm gonna switch it. There we go. The things that aren't, yeah, I just kicked him out. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I was a little bit afraid at first. There's something gave me that kind of no feeling, and I was like, I'll just make sure it wasn't someone else on that wanted to come in here, but we're going to leave it as our group so that we can do our muscle testing and just move through. So these things that we have been doing up until now, and we'd still kind of continue doing unless something major happened. Instead of something major happening, like like a car accident to slow you down, or getting really sick to slow you down, we get to kind of look right now at what it is that we've been maybe wasting our time on, or just maybe, I don't want to say wasting our time, but hasn't been the best use of our time. Like we were still doing this volunteer thing, but like no one's really coming, and it's like, why am I still doing this? this week we're going to feel that power and feel that control to actually go, you know what, that's not really serving anybody. This is the path of least resistance. Not just doing what we always did, but getting to make these choices, moving forward into this next 6 months of where our time can be best spent and best used. And this has been happening naturally for people. And so all of a sudden it's like, it's really, I'm seeing these patterns where it's been happening to more than one person, where they're just like, I just totally gave up this board. I totally gave up this, I was beating a dead horse anyways. And the beautiful thing that happens, it totally, it takes our time, our energy, it drains us, it stops us. And it was something that we did, right? But it's no longer fitting. And it's just like the scorpion shell, the Scorpio, we're growing out of that shell, and we're not trying to shove ourselves back in anymore. We're letting it go. We're sort of embracing our new shell. And you can even do some things like really allowing yourself, if you're trying to change your beliefs, we try and change our beliefs on a super conscious subconscious level. One of the fun things, it's almost like a Tony Robbins thing, is you can start embracing this belief with, if there's something that you're sort of, we're going to work through in this meditation that is still making you feel heavy after, you can have fun with it I like using a different voice or an accent or a little song. And I'll be like, if I'm really feeling that, say I'm not worthy, that good old limiting belief, you can all of a sudden, you really just start to try and absorb the opposite. Like, my health and vitality is in the shitter. It's just, we can pick absolutely anything. You pick the complete opposite. Like, um, I'm as healthy as a horse. Oh yeah. And you just kind of like get into it, just like sing yourself a little song. Or I'm watching Outlander a lot, so everything's in a Scottish accent. So I was like, it's none of my business what other people think, and like really like making up these songs, making up these accents in my head, just being kind of goofy, bringing some laughter into it. That will recreate this belief, because we start telling ourselves that more than we used to have that sort of self-talk, that self-deprecation, that self-beating up. This is no longer allowing it. We're setting up these boundaries within ourselves to start really looking at those beliefs that we had, and getting to that point where we're ready to let go. So we're going to do a lot of belief recoding and value orientating over the next couple of weeks to really keep ourselves in alignment, because now this is it. These shifts have been making, we're doing the shadow work, we're getting it all out tonight. We're just going to like, blah, just throw it all out in the sandbox tonight. Anything else that wants to come up to be healed, we're going to allow this to just move through. We're going to go through each energy center. We're going to allow ourselves to be guided. And we are just going to literally purge the crap out of anything in our body that needs it. So like I say, ground yourself in nature this week, in the things that you love. Play your guitar, write your song, write your book, script things out a little bit, write your new story, just like you're experiencing it. Just write a story, write a fictional story about a character that you are, because this is our story, right? We do truly get to write it. It's coming into your field for a reason. And sometimes when we just put that pen to paper, we just really get that insight and those downloads. So, I feel like getting right into it. So, when you are in the meditation, if you would like to 2.0 this a little bit to get all systems, my body's already releasing. Whew, I'm like feeling a little warm. This is nice. To get everything sort of online, you can ask yourself, is this, in this chakra, is this something that I'm ready to let go? And your body saying yes to that, it's feeling that yes, and just go, yes, 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 and just feel it in your body. Allow that muscle testing, that inner knowing to connect, to let that super conscious work really happen. If you don't want to do the muscle testing, you absolutely don't have to. This will be on my YouTube, so you can always go back and do it another time, as well, with the muscle testing. If you want to kind of really narrow down, if it's like, I don't know if this is if this is what's going on, like, is this really it? Your body will tell you. It will answer that for you, because a lot of times we just don't know, we feel like we don't know. We feel like we have to ask a card, or we have to ask someone, or we have to. The answer's right there. Is this something that I'm ready to let go of right now? Your body will just be like a resounding yes. And you just say, I'm just choosing to allow this belief right now to let go, to be released into the matrix of the universe, and just allow that to be let go, almost like you're unloading the backpack, taking off that shell, getting a new pair of shoes, right, Heather? Like outgrowing things, all these things that we have been feeling are real. They are coming up to be felt, to be heard, to be healed. And it's just so powerful. It's just like, let's just let it go. Let's just get in there and let's just do it. So if you guys are ready, I would say to find a comfortable position. You can be laying down, you can be sitting up, whatever is most comfortable for you. But I want you to just imagine right now closing your eyes and just allowing yourself to just face and heal any and everything that is ready to come up tonight. Anything that's been limiting our power in the past, anything that's been keeping us from being that truest potential, that truest nature and purpose, that truest timeline, anything that's been preventing us from moving forward, and just setting that intention in your body and getting in touch with your breath right now. I want you to just imagine, and you can also, oh yes, I'm just getting this really strongly, to 2.0 this meditation a little bit more. You can use your hands. We have this energy flowing between our hands, all of us do. And when you bring your hands closer together, you can even press your palms together and just sort of slowly separate them, and just really feel that energy ball move through. And you can actually, we're going to be moving through each chakra. You can bring your hands over that chakra, and you can imagine in that energy center, we're going to use the colors, but you can imagine shapes. You can imagine moving that energy. If it's feeling kind of stuck, use your hands to move that energy with your breath. As you're breathing in, you can expand it. As you're breathing out, you can press it together. You can, whatever feels good for you, you can move that energy through your body with your hands. I really feel like this might be very powerful for some of you. So I will guide you through just doing that. So feel free to just, be bringing your hands back and forth in and around the area that we're working over the chakras. And I want you to just place your hands wherever they're comfortable right now. If you place them with the palms up, it puts you into receiving energy. If you're feeling like you just need to ground for a moment, you can place your palms down on your lap, and that will just help you to get grounded at the moment. And I want you to just imagine that your breath is like this beautiful liquid silver light that's just starting to move in and out of your body. This liquid moonlight that is connected from your breath directly up into the cosmos. This direct channel where you can breathe in this beautiful liquid silver light coming all the way in from the moon, as you draw that beautiful liquid light in through your nose. Feel it just incorporate and integrate into every cell of your body, starting to fill the top of your head, moving all the way down your body with every breath. Just imagine with every breath, bringing in more of this liquid silver moonlight into your body, this gorgeous eclipse light, this beautiful light with touches of shadows to just allow us to move all this through, shining the light on things that have been swept under the rug and tucked down into places deep into our body. And just allow that light to start filling your whole body as it fills you all the way down your neck and your shoulders. Keep breathing it in as it starts to Fill your lungs and your belly, filling every single pore and cell, every single little bit of every single cell of your body. Just feeling this light connect and expand. And I want you to imagine right now that this light is filling you up so high that you're actually starting to become nothing but liquid light. And it's almost as though your body is spreading into an aura, an energetic field. And I want you to feel that breath as it enters your body, as it just keeps filling every soul and every cell. Just breathing in and out. Slowing that breath down and allowing it to travel all the way down to your feet. And I want you to just notice right now that your head feels as though it's starting to expand, as it's starting to open up. And I want to start by opening up this crown chakra like a small lotus flower. And I want you to just imagine this lotus flower on the very crown of your head being much like an onion that we are going to just start peeling and opening and expanding and exploring. And I want you to ask yourself, how are you when things are silent? With the crown chakra, if it's out of balance a little bit, we'll often find that we can't handle silence. We always have to have something going in the background. There always has to be some background noise. There always has to be some. How do you, just ask yourself now, how do you feel about pure silence? Now, if you like a good balance between ultra silence, where you can really get behind some quiet time, some complete silence where you enjoy hearing absolutely nothing, just ask yourself what you believe about silence and what you feel about silence and how you react around silence, and just allow this to recalibrate your crown chakra with this inner knowing, this inner understanding about the crown and the divine connection to source, that maybe when things were quiet, we didn't trust ourselves. We didn't trust that we could be alone. We perhaps didn't even want to be alone. There's always got to be a distraction. Why is that? And I want you to just ask yourself how you feel about that and why it is that you feel the way you do about complete silence. I want you to ask yourself what you believe about your divine connection. Are you ready to embrace the fact that you are divinely connected, that there is source energy, there is universal energy tapping in to every cell of your body, and just allow these petals to start unfolding as this moonlight can start to move further and further in through your crown chakra, lighting up some layers that may be underneath those other petals that are just ready and willing to start opening up right now, ready and willing to start shifting, to start showing us any pain that we may be feeling in our body, any fears, and any self-limiting beliefs, any beliefs that may just be ready to be shifted today. Maybe some parts that are just finally being asked to come forward and allow all of this healing light to start to enter the body, and noticing that this light starts to change until from liquid into almost like magic dust, like magic sparkles that are starting to move through the body. Allowing yourself to really feel that connection to all ascended masters, to all angels, to all spirits, to all gods and goddesses. Just feeling that expansion. Can you feel your ears changing frequency a little bit as you notice them all in a circle around you? Just waiting to help you with your wishes, just waiting to show you the healing way, just waiting for you to ask, and ask your angels right now to heal anything in your body that needs to be healed, to heal anything that has to do with this crown chakra. Any of those parts that may be stuck in changing, any of those parts that are really resistant to change, that those parts that you've felt were so strongly keeping you, that willpower, that thinking that you couldn't do it, that powerful, creative, beautiful, soul expanding person that you are. Just knowing that this is your divine connection, that you're here to share this with the collective, to make change for people, for you, for your families, this, all of these teachings, all of these learnings, all of this spirit connecting that you've been doing. You can use your hands around your crown chakra right now, where you're just literally expanding your hands around your head. Feel that energy. If it's feeling like it's low or you're not feeling any, you can even move it in a clockwise motion. If it feels like too much energy, you can move it in a counterclockwise action. Just like you'd be watching clocks go, you can make the energy increase in the air. If you want to open it up a little bit, if that feels like too much, you can back it off. Asking for this crown chakra to be healed, transmuted, cleaned and cleared, opened in the perfect way and in the perfect order to create these beautiful changes, shifts, and releases of anything being held in that area. And as you feel that silver light turn into this beautiful white indigo type of light, these petals on this lotus are starting to glow, and some of them are starting to come into your vision now of things that you are ready to see, feelings that you are ready to have, and pain in your body that you are ready to release. The third eye is all about seeing things clearly, seeing the truth, seeing the stories, seeing these revelations that you've had, seeing some of these patterns, allowing you to truly see exactly what is meant to be seen. And imagine that there's a small purple light right in between your eyes, about the size of a nickel, that's just starting to expand, and it's starting to flourish, and it's starting to shine this spotlight on one thing that you've maybe not been seeing really clearly. And just ask the superconscious to show you exactly what that is, that maybe you didn't see clearly, but you're ready to now. Perhaps it's a trauma, perhaps it's an experience, but I want you to just remember the last time, or a time, perhaps it was even when you were very young, that you weren't able to clearly see what happened, and just ask for some clarity. And just ask to see the truth about that situation, about that experience right now. And go back to that time and that age, and just step into that timeline for a moment. And ask your body, ask your superconscious, am I ready to heal this? Am I ready to move past this? Something that kept you kind of stuck, something that kept you, maybe even has been keeping you from really believing that you are the powerful creator in your life, that you do have a true nature and purpose, that you can see it now. Maybe it's something that's been holding you back, that fear of succeeding or failing, or even just being capable. It's being held up in this third eye, and just allow that, if it's ready, to be released right now. understand yourself, see yourself, accept yourself for who you are with such compassion and such appreciation in how far you've come. And just allow that situation to be released, to be let go. Perhaps use your hands, allow the energy to shift from there. And make the promise right now to see yourself as others do, to see how wonderful you are, to be open to that option. You're so kind, so compassionate, so giving, so gifted. Allow yourself to see your gifts. Allow others to see your gifts. And choose right now to allow this shift, this release in the third eye, using that beautiful indigo color, perhaps seeing a shape, and allowing that indigo color to change into a gorgeous blue as your face, your jaw, your ears, your throat, this whole energy center is all ready to allow the truths to be told, allow the truths to be heard. And for this energy center to properly release something, humming is the absolute best way. And I have everybody on mute, so if you are drawn to or called to, I want you to think about the things that what are you afraid of in speaking your truth? What has been holding you back from just speaking your truth? What has been holding you back from sticking up for yourself? Just allow this to be seen right now. And as it comes up, I want you to just go into that space and time and just ask if your body is ready to release and heal that experience. And I want you to make the commitment to yourself to speak here and embrace the truth, knowing that it's coming from the highest place for the highest good. And allow yourself to just make a noise with your throat, just whatever tone, the lower the tone will end up opening the lower chakras as well. The higher the tone will resonate with those upper chakras, which is why I think my humming was a little bit on the higher side right now. Whatever sound just feels like it needs to come out of your body right now, just allow that. Just making that sound with your throat, just balancing, cleaning, clearing, transmuting that energy center. And allow that blue to exchange into a green. And you can use your hands going around the heart chakra, around the heart area, feeling that energy moving through the heart. And I want you to ask yourself what kind of heartbreak you're ready to heal. The first one that comes to mind, the first thing that hops into your mind right now that the superconscious drips in and brings in is very, very likely the healing that's ready to happen in your heart chakra. There's many things that have broken our heart wide open. There's many chunks, there's many pieces, there's many holes, there's many wounds in our heart, but there's one right now that's just ready to be healed. And I want you to just go inside your heart and ask for the experience that's ready to be healed right now to come forward. The part, perhaps, the defragmentation you had to make, the time where you gave too much, where things got a little bit out of balance, and that your heart felt like it broke wide open. Perhaps it's the most painful time when your heart felt as though it would never come back together again. And I'm getting a strong yes that our bodies are ready to heal this area, this part. And I want you to promise yourself to be loving and compassionate. And right now, I'd like you to grow yourself younger as we start to go down from green to yellow into our inner wisdom of our solar plexus. And I want you to just imagine yourself lighting up this whole top of your body with these beautiful colors, and imagine yourself growing a little bit younger. Some of the times where you maybe felt lost, you maybe felt you needed something. You don't need to know exactly when, but I want you to just imagine being younger and being in your bedroom. And I want you to imagine that doorway to your bedroom. And I want you to imagine this lit up self with this beautiful lotus on the top of your head that's starting to open up, starting to discover. I want you to imagine right now that this beautiful mind, body, soul, spirit, whole person that's been shifting and changing is going in to visit this little child. It's you when you were much younger, being visited by this older, wiser, healthier, changing, vastly expanding, imminent you. And I want you to imagine opening that bedroom doorway, just as though you were walking through it like you've been through it a million times before. You may not remember exactly what the door was like. You might remember exactly what the doorknob was like, the color of the door, the way your room looked. You may remember exactly. You may not remember at all. Some of these may be trapped emotions that are coming up. If you can't remember, just make it up as best you can. And you're walking right now as this true whole self that you've become into your bedroom. And you're going in and you're gonna go, your little young you sees you and they recognize you right away and they're happy. They've been almost waiting for a visit. And I want you to just go and sit beside this little one. Whether they're on their bed, maybe they were hiding in their closet, maybe they were sitting on their floor crying, maybe they were just doing what you used to do as a little kid in your bedroom, whatever that may be. Maybe they're drawing, maybe they're trying to sleep. Imagine just going in and sitting right beside this child and even putting your arm out and see if they climb right onto your lap or if they just snuggle up under your wing, if they are shy or nervous. Just imagine how your little child you is greeting you. And if you can, encourage them to come close and imagine that you're just stroking their hair, that you're running your fingers through their hair and you're saying, I see you. You're saying, nobody understands you like I do. I get it. I get you. And I want you to tell this inner child, this little self, a message that's being tapped in through the divine source of you, through this energy, through your crown chakra, all the way through your upper chakras, the healed and balanced heart, the healed and balanced third eye, the throat chakra that is just perfect, that is going to speak the truth, speak this channeled message. I want you to just imagine giving this little inner child a message right now. Ask them what it is they need to hear. Ask them what it is that they would like to hear. Ask them what it is that they really want. Receive these messages. And I want you to tell them that you're going to love them and cherish them and adore them and take care of them. They need to know that someone is in their corner, someone has got their back. Allowing this belief to instill into this small child, I want you to hold and hug this small child and ask them what else they would like to say to you. And perhaps give them a little bit more advice that is coming to you through you. If you could tell that little child one thing that would allow them to move through life not feeling so limited, not feeling like everything was their fault or their responsibility, what would you tell them right now? And I want you to invite them to come along with you into your solar plexus, holding them and showing them how to do some of this energy work, how to ground themselves so that they don't spiritually bypass for the rest of their lives in these upper chakras, teaching them to ground in. Allow them to feel this solar plexus with you right now. Show them how to put their hands on their upper belly. Show them how to breathe properly. Maybe giving them that breath of life, showing them how to embrace themselves, to be within themselves, to calm their anxiety, their pain. And imagine right now that you allowed yourself to really be your true nature and purpose. What would you and this small child conquer together? What kind of things could you do on this earthly plane to create this energetic collective shift with and for others? This reason that you're a light worker and that you were brought here. What is it that you just love to do? What is it that you just want to do for this and in this world? Imagine dreaming big again. Allow them to join in and balance this beautiful solar plexus out with the most gorgeous yellow sunshine, the most gorgeous yellow color, the most gorgeous yellow light. You can use your hands to expand and ask if there's anything that needs to be released from this area about your limiting beliefs, about who you really are. And I want you to ask yourself, what's stopping you from really going for what you want? What is something you just really want? And if you're ready to release this, use your hands, use your breath. Imagine blowing this out and allowing the matrix of the universe to simply take this away, to ask and receive this healing light moving through your solar plexus, balancing everything out throughout this chakra, literally healing any areas of the body around there that need to be healed, anything we've packed down, any fears we've packed down in there. As this yellow light starts to move into an orange, rusty, gorgeous color. And imagine this orange color as your hands move down just a little bit, healing, centering, grounding, balancing, cleaning, clearing, and transmuting that sacral plexus. Asking yourself what it is that you're afraid of about moving forward. What are some fears that are ready to just be let go? The fear of success, the fear of failing, the fear of letting someone down, the fear of disappointing, all the fears. Choosing right now to allow this orange coloration to be swirling around the lower abdominal part of your body. And with this sacral plexus, I'm going to ask that you imagine right now an animal spirit guide. An animal, whether it's a totem, just a random animal, the most random thing that just popped into your head right now. And this is the fun part that I'm going to explain after. Just allow whatever animal it is that's coming waddling up to you right now, and ask it to take this fear away. Ask it to just remove it. This animal is coming in. It may be even 2 or 3 different kinds. Just noticing what it is and just allowing it. Allow it to receive that fear and allow it to take it into the bush, eat it, bury it, destroy it, take it out to sea, whatever it might be doing. Just allow it to take it away. This animal is coming to assist you. And if your body is saying yes, just choose to let go of these fears, to just let these fears drip away. The fear of judgment, just letting them all drip away. Let the animal remove them right now. As you start to feel this orange expand into your lower pelvis, I want you to feel the stirrings of red. The beautiful stirrings of red coming into this root chakra. These family, generational, everything that's been coming up in this last week or two. I love you, Margie. Having to be able to just tap in to these past generations, these past lives, these past, they're literally generations. Going up to 7 years, 7 full generations. All this ascension through all of these lifetimes. Just allow that to move through. And I want you to feel yourself grounding and tapping into Mother Earth right now. Tapping in so much so that your legs, your feet, they're all starting to almost be drawn into the earth as you feel yourself starting to ground, starting to become this fully centered, aligned energy source. And as you do this, I want you to just really embrace this red coloration. I want you to tap down deep into the earth, almost like you're plugging yourself into a remote charger that's being moved around in this light plane. And it's charging your battery cells, it's charging your energy, it's refueling anything in the body that needs refueling. It's increasing energy in any of these energy centers that need it. It's increasing energy in your life force, in your motivation, in your frequency. It's just starting to charge up your whole body. And as these lights go on one by one, as this battery starts to fill and charge, I want you to imagine that you are sitting on top of your crown chakra with this lotus, just being able to see it all. It's like you're floating above it. You can just see all of these layers so clearly. And I want you to just notice some of these petals and the layers and the colorations in this beautiful lotus at the top of your skull, right at the top of your head. And you can see it from above now. You can see it like an onion that was peeled apart just perfectly. You can see some parts that are deeper colors that have more red, more orange, there may be more white, just noticing some of those colorations. Noticing which ones still need to be healed, and just allow this to happen, almost like you're waving a magic wand at any of these onion layers, any of these onion leaves, and you're just asking for them to be healed and released one by one until you start to notice that it just turns into this beautiful white silver flower on the top of your head. Just let those colorations change, almost like a magic light that's shifting and changing colors as this energy field completes the cleansing, the letting go, the release of any dense energy, any fears, any stories, as we really tap down all the way into that root chakra about those stories that we've spent most of our lives believing and learning, and now understanding that we get to learn what we want to when we want to. Grounding all of this down into the matrix of the universe. Feeling each of those lights of each energy center, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the white, the purple, just starting to glow through your whole body as you feel your aura expanding. Making space for all of this, light that we are ready to have enter our field to move us forward. With our inner child, with ourselves, with all our parts integrated. Just feeling the energy of all of that moving. And when you're ready, you can come back, wiggling a finger, wiggling a toe. Imagine yourself staying lit up, staying that version, that beautiful balanced light source aura energy moving through, completely connected divine light. Nothing but healed light just moving through the energetic planes. And something popped into my head when I was in that meditation, and it was almost like dreams. You know how when we have dreams, it's like you're kind of like you're who you are, but not really. And there's people that are in the dreams, but they're not really the people you know, or they kind of resemble someone, but it's not really who they are. And you're in a house, but it looks a little different. You're in a realm, but it looks a little different. You're doing something, sometimes it's even repeated. What if those are our timelines that we're able to kind of move through? And what if we just allowed ourselves to have daydreams where we just, you almost have to try and figure out where you are? And what if we allowed ourselves to actually really meditate like that, really allow ourselves to travel through these timelines, but control it? A lot of people have been really exhausted, like really exhausted after that familial stuff that went on last week, those family uprooted things that were coming on. When those really started surfacing, people were wiped out. Like my husband kept laughing at me because I even had to go like just lie down for 5 minutes, like just like really kind of ground and center myself. Just exhausted in weird ways. And I really feel like it was these big shifts that were happening. And the amount of tiredness that I heard about from people was just so mind-blowing, just so tired. Just allowing yourself to kind of have this journey to be able to recover from it, get out into nature, really allow yourself to daydream like you're night dreaming in the astral plane while you're out walking in the field, just sort of allowing this light from this eclipse. This full moon is just huge. We don't see the eclipse unless we're in Australia or India or Africa right now, or in the oceans, but we will feel it, and we will feel it really strongly. So really kind of letting all your ascended masters that are all around you, all of your angel guides, all of your spirit guides, just tap into their power, tap into what they may be trying to tell you, ask for their assistance, ask for their help. And before I sign off, and I apologize for taking so long and going so late, when you saw your animal spirit guide come in at the sacral chakra, when you saw that animal come in, I want you to just take note of the animal, and I want you to look it up, whether you Google spirit meaning animal polar bear, whatever it was, platypus, whatever it was, bat, whatever, if it was a spider that came and helped take those fears away from the sacral plexus, I want you to just know that that animal came for a reason, and it will likely like blow your mind when you read what it is about that particular animal that came to you in that very moment, and think about it in the sense that it was removing fears. It was really allow yourself to have some fun just for a couple minutes Googling. There's the Animal Speak book that you guys have probably seen. I use this one a lot. There's another one, Spirit Animal Guides, I believe it is. It's on my other shelf. There's some really good books out there. If you have, just look up what it is. If you have the animal cards, the messages from your animal spirit guides. If you guys want to stay on, I'm going to stop the Facebook Live. I have my animal spirit guide cards or messages. So if you didn't get one didn't come to you, I'll happily pull a card for you and let you know your animal spirit guide. But if you did get one come to you, definitely just Google it, what the spiritual meaning of that animal is, and I guarantee it will blow your mind, just in the meaning behind it. It's forever fitting, just forever fitting. So I am going to say goodnight to the Facebook world, and I am going to pull a couple cards here. So thank you everybody for coming. Happy eclipse. Keep grounding. Do an Epsom salts and baking soda bath tonight if you can. And definitely let yourself, I like to let the tub drain before I get out, especially on a full moon, really purge everything. You can do moon water tonight, where you do just put the water out in the moon and it'll just kind of charge it up. That's definitely something that I like doing, especially in Scorpio. It's very, very fitting. So I like making moon water. And really just kind of, you just bless that water and allow the moon to just charge it all up for you. This full moon is huge. It's the biggest one that's going to be all year pretty much, and tonight is the closest to Earth that it's going to be. So we're really going to feel that energy tonight. So allow it to purge anything else from your body tonight, and let yourself cry. These emotions we've trapped down for so long, they're just ready to come out, and we feel them and heal them by crying, by voicing, by actually letting it out. And so know that it may feel really emotional and huge for a moment, but it truly is, so that it can be healed, and it's going to just be so pertinent to let that go right now, especially with those emotions. So anyways, I'm going to log off Facebook, and thank you everybody. We'll see you next week.